are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And so a lot of fans are clowning JT. Cardi B allegedly is clowning JT because the numbers are in for JT's new hit single, Girls Gone Wild. Now, me personally, I think the song is a hit, is innovative. I feel like she's trying something new. She's trying to step out of her, Miami scammer vibes. I think she's trying to not be put in a box. But unfortunately, the numbers are in. And it has been reported that JT's Girls Gone Wild earned 221,000 streams its first full day of release on Paolify. Now, once the numbers got released, JT seemingly deactivated her account, but allegedly there was another reason behind that. We get into that a little bit later. But fans are saying on social media, saying Magnet did 867,000. Album track, no music video, went number 1 on Apple Music, went number 1 on US iTunes, sold over 100,000 units in the US, charted at number 37 on Billboard Hot 100. So who's the real flop? Do this and beat me, okay? So a lot of fans are calling out JT because she did call Cardi B a flop. But her numbers aren't great for this new single that she got out. And here's my thing. A lot of people are saying, oh, this is her karma for, going up against Cardi B. Fans are saying that, this is what she gets for being a lapdog. I don't feel like JT gives lapdog vibes just because she going after Cardi B. She going after Cardi because JT feels like Cardi B threw shade at her first. She called JT a lapdog because of what? Because she did a song with Nicki Minaj. She didn't do anything. She's not like JT was just randomly shading Cardi B. Cardi B threw shade first by calling her a lapdog. That's how it all started. And I feel as though when you're going up against a Latina, it's never going to work in your favor. Because black people, especially black people that dislike themselves, they're always going to side with the Latina. Okay? Especially because Cardi B is lighter skin. She has long hair. JT is going to have a hard time going up against her. Just like, there was a time where Ashanti couldn't go up against J-Ho. J-Ho was doing a lot of foul stuff behind the scenes, but, Ashanti couldn't really go up against her and, expose her until years and years later. So that's how I kind of feel about it. I feel like people are only dragging JT because she's dark skinned. And she is going after Cardi B because Cardi B threw shade first. Let's be very clear. Cardi B is not innocent and she is not a good rapper. Okay? No matter how much numbers she do, she's not a good rapper. Now, speaking of flopping, it looks like, unfortunately, Lover Girl is expected to move out of the top 40 on the Billboard Hot 100. Yikes, okay? Let me know how y'all feel about that. Now, here's my thing. I feel like Megan Thee Stallion doesn't get held accountable for the lack of stats that she has. Okay? For as much as she get a push for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sign a Devil Nation, you get all these brand deals. You did a record with Dua Lipa. You did a record with Maroon 5. You did a record with Queen Bee. Cardi B, you name it, right? You got 3 Grammys, but yet, you can't even go top 20, top 10 by yourself. Isn't that kind of odd? I don't know if anybody thinks that's a little bit odd, but I think it's odd. I think it's a little bit weird for me. So I feel as though Megan Thee Stallion gets propped up, right? To not just to go against Nicki Minaj, but I think she just gets propped up because of sympathy. But it just doesn't make sense that you can't successfully have a hit like on the top 10 or in the top 20 for weeks and weeks and weeks. But yet you're in the conversations of a Nicki Minaj. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't logically make sense because you can't out rap Nicki and you definitely can't outsell her. So, I think that's kind of odd in my opinion. Now, moving on from that, Doja Cat has to come to the front of the congregation and receives 50,000 lashings. I do love Doja Cat. Her album V is fire if you have not listened to it, even though it did not do well on the charts. But she decided to go on a mini rant and call out the Scämmys. She said, I want a Grammy. I'm not eligible. Okay. Now, here's my thing with Doja Cat. You already have one. Okay. There's some people that have none, but you already have one for Kiss Me More. That's one. Number two, you didn't put anything out, not in counting V. V definitely is Grammy worthy, in my opinion, or Grammy nominated worthy. You gonna have a lot of competition with the people that are dropping in 2026. So I can't say that you gonna win, but you definitely should get nominated. But you gonna be going up against Adele and Beyonce possibly, and No Shade Queen Taylor, because this is a pop album. This is not really rap. So you're not really gonna be going up against Cardi B. No shade. So you're gonna have a lot of competition. No shade. But I do feel like you deserve a nomination. My whole thing is, though, I think she's saying this because Lisa Ray and her put out that collaboration. And like I said, she got snubbed. But I'm thinking, was that a, no shade, Grammy-worthy song? I don't know. I listened to it the other day and I was like, I don't know if I would give this a Grammy nomination compared to the other people. Like, was it better than Abracadabra? Was it better than Luther? No, it was not. Okay, that's the answer. So I feel like Doja Cat, you got to put out better music, and you got to think outside the box with collaborations. Don't just do collaborations just to do them. You never used to be like that. Like, I'm expecting you to collaborate with like a Nicki. I'm expecting you to grab that Beyonce collaboration, in my opinion, because you got that talent to do so. Ray and Lisa are cute. That was cute, but you turned down Nicki Minaj and did a collaboration with Lisa and Ray. Like, that didn't make sense to me. Okay, so I think you gotta step out the box. Maybe that D0JA collaboration that's supposed to come out, hopefully, maybe that will get you a Scämmy nomination, because one thing about the Scämmys, they love TDE. So if you work with D0JA or Kendrick Lamar, you definitely gonna get one. Those are the people you need to collaborate with, though. No, she not Whack Harlow, not Don Toliver. We don't want that either. Now, I do have to give Doja Cat her tens, though, because she did perform Miss Jackson at the Outkast tribute for the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I think it was on Disney, but I saw it on social media. Her whole performance was fire. I think her, Janelle Monáe, and Tyler, the Creator, they absolutely killed it. So I do think that Doja Cat deserves her tens for this. Now, moving on from that, I do have to give bottom feeder, little bottom Uzi, 100,000 lashings. Okay, this is ridiculous. And you had to humiliate JT when her single just came out. I can't stand your ass. I never liked you. I can't wait for JT to dump you. You ain't shit anyway. But it looks like Devil Nation and Lil Uzi are getting sued for sexual harassment, okay, unfortunately, by a former assistant. Now, fans are calling JT out because, remember, JT was calling out Stephon Diddy and his SA cases, okay? So, Cardi B fans are also clowning JT because of this, and they feel like this is probably one of the reasons why she deactivated. Okay, not just because her single is not doing well on the chart. Unfortunately, it gets worse. It seems as though the assistant is also alleging that JT bullied her and overworked her while also being sexually harassed by Lil Dookie. Okay, so this is what she's alleging in the lawsuit. Okay, now here's my thing with Cardi B fans and Cardi B and JT fans. Lil Dookie and Stephon Diddy are both trash. Garbage. Okay? None of the female rappers, in my opinion, pick great men. It's just one of those things where I don't see anybody that's a W for female rap, in my opinion. But Stephon Diddy, he still got cases and 1,000 babies. I don't understand how Cardi B fans are happy about this. Like, oh my goodness. Oh, haha. JT's going through this. Like, Cardi B gonna be going through it too. Let's be very clear. She's the one knocked up. JT could leave Lil Uzi today and it really wouldn't affect her because guess what? She ain't got no kids with him. Cardi B, who opens up that coochie after just meeting somebody, no shade, allegedly. I mean, she just got knocked up very quickly after not really being divorced and just having a baby last year. So she had to be sleeping and effing somebody very quickly to do that. But the point of the matter is, Cardi B's forever tied to Stephon Diddy. No shade. JT's not. Okay, because JT don't have no children. She's not married to him. Cardi B's forever tied to Stephon Diddy. She's forever tied to Off the Cheat. So I feel like you guys can't really drag JT. All she got to do is end this and it'll be over. Okay? Move on. Lil Uzi not even hot no more anyway. I would give him the boot and get somebody else. Okay? No shade. He is not the only rich man in the world that can pay your bills, in my opinion. Now, moving on from that, it has been reported that 2 weeks after Tyler Chanel song has been released, she still hasn't officially been promoted in the U.S. radio on any format. Okay, fans are calling out Epic Records, who Tyler is signed to, for her to get more radio and playlisting for the song Chanel. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been listening to that song. I think the song is a hit, in my opinion. Fans are upset because the song is going viral online. It's doing well on Paolify, and it continues to rise on the charts. So people are just wondering how come she's not getting a push. Allegedly behind the scenes, the label wasn't fully behind the song coming out. Okay. They think the song is catchy, but allegedly behind the scenes, they don't believe that it's a hit. I think it's a hit. I definitely think that this Chanel song is a hit. I think Epic Records, they gotta do better. Okay, you don't want to see this song slip through the cracks. It definitely belongs on the radio, in my opinion. But anyway, I got some very hot tea on Patreon on Kim K, Nicki Minaj, Sydney Sweeney. Link in description. And I hope you guys have a great day.